Every night, the world grows quiet. Cities slow down, lights go out, and we disappear. We put our phones away, close our eyes, and let consciousness dissolve. No one knows exactly when it happens. One moment still belongs to waking, and in the next, we are gone. We sleep. It's one of the strangest things humans do. We enter a state where we don't see, don't hear, don't stay alert. We lose track of time. We don't control our bodies or thoughts. And yet we do it every night, persistently, as if our lives depended on it. Because they do. From an evolutionary point of view, it's absurd. No creature should risk such prolonged vulnerability. And yet, every animal sleeps, from birds to insects, from cats to whales. Nature never got rid of sleep, even though it could mean death, which means that sleep is more than just rest. Humans have tried to understand it for thousands of years. In ancient times, people believed that during sleep, the soul left the body to travel through other worlds. Today we say, we sleep to recover. But the truth is far more mysterious. Because sleep isn't just a pause in life. It is its other half. It's there in the night that something happens. Something we don't understand, but without which we stop being ourselves. Every night we leave the world so we can return to it again. We dream because our biology demands it, but perhaps also because our soul does. When you fall asleep, the world doesn't end. It just moves inside. Your body goes still, your breath slows, and within you begins a nocturnal orchestra. Your heart beats to a different rhythm. Muscles release their tension, and deep within your brain begins a journey through worlds you won't remember upon waking. Because sleep doesn't come all at once. It's a journey with its own stages, boundaries, and secret rituals. First, you sink into a light, delicate darkness. The first phase of sleep, when the brain learns to let go. You still hear the outside world, you can still move, but awareness begins to slip away, as if you were standing at the edge of a lake, slowly immersing yourself in water. Then comes the second phase, deeper, calmer, when the body truly begins to rest. Muscles loosen, the heart slows, body temperature drops. On the outside you look dead, but inside, repair is underway. And then something happens that is hard to describe. You enter deep sleep, the foundation of life itself. There are no dreams or images there. It's pure restoration. Cells renew, tissues repair micro-damage. The immune system begins its work. It's the moment when your body corrects the mistakes of the day. The brain rests, but it doesn't fall silent. Its waves slow down, synchronized like gentle tides on an empty shore. It's then that a child grows. A wound heals, strength returns. Then comes the paradoxical phase. REM sleep. The brain suddenly lights up, as if someone had switched it on. Neurons burst with activity. Eyes dart beneath closed lids, and you dream. This is when your memories begin to dance. Reality melts, mingles with fantasy, and emotions left unprocessed during the day return in disguise. Your brain builds stories out of fragments of life, part truth, part fear, part longing. It dreams in order to understand what it once felt but had no time to feel. It's in REM that your mind learns itself anew. It processes memories, arranges emotions, rehearses reactions. When you dream, you learn faster, remember more deeply, feel more fully. The brain tidies up, but also creates meaning. When the cycle ends, you wake briefly, only to fall again into the next round. The night is not one journey, but several, loops that repeat like breath. You fall asleep, you dream, you restore, and again, 4, 5 times each night. It's within these repeating waves of night that life keeps its balance. Without sleep, everything begins to crumble. Memory fades, the body rebels, emotions slip from control. A sleepless brain is like a computer that never restarts. It overheats. Sleep, then, is no luxury. It's a biological duty, a time when the world doesn't need you, because you must return to yourself. Lack of sleep is the silent epidemic of our age. It doesn't destroy us instantly, but it slowly steals everything that makes us human. Focus, memory, patience, emotion. Once, sleep was a natural part of life, a rhythm of nature. Now it's become a luxury. In a world that never darkens, where screen light cheats the night and work seeps into every hour, we've begun to treat sleep as wasted time. And we're paying the price. The first thing you lose is clarity. After just one sleepless night, the brain behaves as if it were slightly drunk. Reactions slow, attention scatters, short-term memory slips through your fingers like sand. After a few nights, you can no longer judge how tired you are. The less you sleep, the more you think you're fine. But it's an illusion. The brain starts shutting down areas responsible for reason and emotion. The tired mind becomes impulsive, irritable, worse at making decisions. Then the body suffers. Lack of sleep disrupts hormones. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises, while leptin, the one that says "I'm full," drops. You start eating more, and worse. Just a week of short nights, and your metabolism behaves as if you were obese. The immune system weakens, cells regenerate more slowly. Sleep loss literally accelerates aging. But the greatest damage happens in the brain. Without sleep, neurons can't cleanse themselves. During the day, they accumulate toxic proteins that are flushed away at night by the glymphatic system, the brain's nighttime sewage network. When that process stops, waste remains. And those very proteins are linked to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Sleep isn't laziness. It's memory's maintenance. Sleep loss also distorts emotion. The amygdala, the brain's fear and anger center, becomes hyperactive, while the prefrontal cortex, which normally keeps it in check, goes offline. A sleepless person feels more, reacts stronger, understands less. That's why after a sleepless night, the smallest thing can make you furious or make you cry. And yet we know all this, and still we give up sleep. Because sleep isn't spectacular. It doesn't feel productive. Its absence doesn't hurt right away. But if you could look inside your brain after a few nights without rest, you'd see chaos, as if someone had scattered every file in your memory office and turned off the lights. Dreams are the most personal film you'll ever watch, and no one else will ever see it. Each night your brain becomes director, actor, set designer, and audience all at once. It creates worlds that don't exist, mixes faces you've forgotten with emotions you don't understand. And it does it for a reason. Dreams aren't random. They're not system errors. They're its language. When you dream, your brain doesn't rest. It works harder than in waking life. During REM, the regions tied to emotion, memory, and imagination light up, while logic and control fall silent. That's why dreams are illogical, strange, sometimes absurd. Where reason rules by day, emotion reigns by night. Sleep is the place where your mind speaks uncensored. Scientists believe dreams are a form of therapy. At night, we relive what we refuse to feel by day. The brain pieces emotions together, fear, anger, shame, longing, and tries to see how they fit. That's why we dream of what frightens or hurts us. It's not punishment, it's training. In the safe space of sleep, we practice facing fear. Dreams are a flight simulator for emotion. Others say, we dream to learn faster. The brain replays memories as if rehearsing them. It's like nightly revision. That's when short-term memories become long-term ones. Learn something new, and then sleep. And you'll remember. skip sleep, and it fades. Sleep is a teacher that works in silence. But dreams are more than biology. They're mirrors. In them you see desires, fears, memories you thought were gone. You dream of those who've left because your mind is still trying to close their story. You dream of danger because your subconscious wants to test your response. You dream of flying because for a moment, you're free of everything. Dreams also connect us all. For millennia, we've tried to decode them. From Egyptian priests to Freud to modern neuroscientists, each saw something different. Divine message, hidden desire, neural reaction. Perhaps they were all a little right, because dreams truly are a bridge between what's biological and what's spiritual in us. The brain dreams because it must organize memory, but also because humans need meaning. And maybe that's why dreams have never vanished from evolution. They give us something no technology can: a conversation with ourselves. Some say dreams are just random bursts of neurons. But if that's true, how can they move us, terrify us, sometimes even change us? Maybe it's no coincidence that the greatest discoveries, music, theories, and ideas came to people in dreams. Because sometimes, to understand something, you must first stop thinking. Nightmares are sleep's dark side. The same brain that helps you by day can turn against you by night. It creates monsters that don't exist, opens doors that should never open. In nightmares, reality cracks. Fear becomes truer than anything in daylight. And though it feels like punishment, it is, in truth, protection. Nightmares are the brain's way of trying to save you from yourself. When something frightens you, but you don't have the time or energy to confront it, the mind remembers the emotion, not the event. Fear lingers. At night, when the rational part of the brain quiets, these emotions return. The amygdala, the center of fear, begins to act unchecked, and sleep turns into a battlefield. A nightmare is an emotion finally finding a voice. For some, nightmares appear after trauma, war, accident, loss. These aren't random images but attempts to process the past. The brain replays the scene over and over, as if searching for a way to experience it differently, without pain. For people with PTSD, this becomes a vicious cycle. Sleep that was meant to heal becomes a wound. Yet even then, the purpose remains the same: to process the incomprehensible until the emotions no longer burn. Nightmares have a biological basis. They mainly occur during REM sleep, when the brain dreams most vividly and the body is paralyzed. Sometimes, however, this system fails. You wake, but your muscles are still asleep. Sleep paralysis. You see a shadow in the room, hear steps, sense a presence, but cannot move. It is the oldest fear in the world, an echo of evolutionary vulnerability. Long ago, people said a demon sat on the sleeper's chest. Today we know it's neurobiology at the edge of wakefulness and sleep. Nightmares can also be teachers. People who can lucid dream, knowing they are dreaming, can take control and change the dream's course. They fly instead of fleeing, talk to the monster instead of hiding. It's not magic. It's neuroplasticity, the brain learning to manage fear even while asleep. One cannot live without darkness, just as one cannot dream only of light. Nightmares remind us that something inside still fears. Fear isn't the enemy. It's a warning that something within needs attention. Perhaps the goal isn't to stop having nightmares, but to finally understand what they are trying to tell us. Night is never truly quiet. When the body seems asleep, life continues within, intense, mysterious, chaotic. The brain, meant to rest, conducts nocturnal experiments on itself. Sometimes it makes mistakes. Then the night is not sleep, but a labyrinth. It often starts innocently. You lie in darkness, body softens, breath evens. You still feel the bed beneath you, still hear external sounds, and suddenly, you fall. Your body jolts as if shocked. Heart races, eyelids snap open, yet the room hasn't changed. It's an illusion. This sudden jerk, the hypnic jerk, echoes our origins. Ancestors sleeping in trees would react instantly to a loss of muscle tension to avoid falling. Millions of years later, we carry this reflex, a relic of safety in a world where we no longer sleep on branches. Sometimes, sleep doesn't end with a jolt. Sometimes, the boundary between sleep and wakefulness leaks. The body sleeps, but the brain hasn't fully shut down. We sleep partially. We open our eyes, walk, even talk, and in the morning remember nothing. Sleepwalking, somnambulism, is when the nervous system sleeps and watches simultaneously. It mostly affects children, whose brains are still learning to separate sleep phases. Adults are less often affected, but it can be dangerous. People have left their homes, driven cars, cooked, all while in deep sleep. Sleep that forgets it is meant to be sleep. The brain can also speak at night. Literally. Talking in sleep is a brief awakening of the speech center while consciousness remains asleep. Sometimes single words, sometimes whole sentences. It's an echo of a dream surfacing into reality. Common in children and fading with age, it can indicate emotional tension in adults. The brain releases stress in sound rather than dream. There are more violent phenomena: night terrors, pavor nocturnus. The body sits up, eyes open, mouth screams, but the person remains asleep. Deep sleep from which waking is impossible, mostly in children, whose nervous systems are immature. To observers, it looks like a nightmare, but inside, there are no images, only pure terror erupting through the body, biology without consciousness. Other behaviors appear: teeth grinding, kicking, scratching, tossing. These parasomnias accompany transitions between sleep phases. Bruxism, teeth grinding, is often stress-related. When you tense your jaw by day, the brain completes the motion at night, as if unable to stop. Sometimes it's tension release. Sometimes micro-awakenings you don't remember. Some dreams escape the body. REM sleep behavior disorder occurs when the muscle paralysis fails, and the dreamer acts out the dream, hitting, shouting, running, fighting. The brain lives in the dream. The body obeys. Dangerous but fascinating. Proof that sleep isn't disconnection, but a parallel world that can break into reality at any moment. Then comes something that awakens humanity's oldest fear: sleep paralysis. You wake, see the room, know it's a dream, but cannot move. Body paralyzed, breathing shallow, heart racing. Visions appear. Someone stands over you, sits on your chest, footsteps, breathing. The brain dreams a little longer, even as eyes witness reality. Ancient tales spoke of demons and spirits. Today we know it's neurobiology in suspension. Sleeping body, awake mind. Knowledge doesn't remove the terror. In that moment, you truly feel something in the room, and that something is you. Some phenomena last seconds, others a minute, but all show one thing: sleep is not a boundary. It's a fluid passage between worlds that constantly intersect. The brain is not a computer switching off and on. It's an orchestra that momentarily loses its rhythm. Every jerk, fall, scream, every sleepwalker's step echoes ancient survival mechanisms. Once they protected us from falling, predators, hunger. Today, they remind us that even in bed, we aren't completely safe from ourselves. Sleep changes with us. It isn't fixed. It isn't singular. We are born with it, grow within it, and slowly lose it. How we sleep is like the fingerprint of our age. A child sleeps as if sleep were its natural state of being. A newborn may sleep 20 hours a day. Its sleep isn't yet structured. REM and deep sleep phases mix, appear, vanish, and return chaotically. The brain grows rapidly, and sleep is its workshop. REM creates new neural connections. Deep sleep consolidates memories, builds consciousness structures. Children dream almost constantly because their brains are learning to be awake. Their dreams contain no story, only shapes, colors, emotions, raw material of reality. With age, sleep organizes. Teenagers and young adults still undergo growth and hormonal surges, requiring long, deep sleep. That's why they sleep 12 hours and still feel tired. It's biology demanding time to rebuild after intense days. In youth, sleep is dense, strong, rich in REM phases, like a river still flowing wide. Then begins the slow contraction. Adulthood brings rhythm, obligations, stress, and artificial light. We sleep shorter and shallower. Night awakenings become more frequent, and the brain no longer sinks as deeply. REM sleep, where dreams occur, becomes shorter, and deep sleep, the one that truly regenerates, grows harder to reach. That's why after 30, we no longer wake refreshed like we once did. It's not just fatigue. It's a brain gradually losing the ability to fully immerse itself in sleep. In middle age, sleep starts to resemble an archive. No longer a tool for growth, but for maintenance. The brain no longer builds new pathways, only preserves the old. Balance replaces development. We also dream less intensely. Not because dreams vanish, but because REM phases weaken, along with the capacity for emotional processing of memories. Adult sleep becomes more practical, less magical. Then comes old age, a time when sleep becomes a shadow of itself. Circadian rhythms shift, older people fall asleep earlier, wake before dawn, and sleep less. The brain loses some neurons responsible for regulating sleep, and deep phases nearly disappear. It's no coincidence that the elderly often forget their dreams. The brain simply dreams less. And even when sleep comes, it can easily fragment. Every noise, every muscle tension can interrupt it. Paradoxically, however, sleep remains necessary in old age. It no longer regenerates the body as before, but still soothes the mind. It's a time when the brain doesn't so much build as organize. It sorts memories, quiets grief, smooths emotions. It becomes the silence after long music. Some researchers liken sleep to the breath of life, deep at first, shallower with time. In old age, the brain sleeps lightly, as if unwilling to fully submerge. Slowly, it seems to prepare for the longest sleep of all. Never in history have people slept as poorly as today. We live in an era that knows no darkness. Light shines 24 hours a day, from screens, shop windows, streets, pockets. Night, once a boundary, has vanished, replaced by LED light pretending to be day. Our eyes cannot distinguish this deception. Blue light from phones, laptops, and TVs signals to the brain. The day continues. If the day continues, it's not time for melatonin, the sleep hormone. That's why even lying down late, you may feel awake. The brain is still waiting for a sunset that never comes. Then there's caffeine, our quiet enemy disguised as an ally. Coffee doesn't give energy. It only blocks fatigue receptors. Adenosine, the molecule that tells the brain time to sleep, is fooled. But when caffeine fades, the debt hits back. After days of caffeine without rest, you feel exhausted, not energized. Coffee doesn't add strength. It merely delays fatigue. Notifications worsen the problem. A phone by the bed, a glowing screen, the sound that triggers dopamine. Each ping is a microdose of reward telling the brain, keep going. It's a biochemical trap. The reward system doesn't distinguish day from night. We sleep later, worse, shallower. Not because we don't want to sleep, because we can no longer. Modern sleep is fragmented. Even 8 hours can feel like a disrupted film, constantly interrupted. Noise, stress, hormones, light, coffee. The body sleeps, but the brain never reaches deep phases. Cleansing is missing, what scientists call brainwashing. When cerebrospinal fluid flushes toxins from neurons during deep sleep. Without it, we wake like a computer that hasn't updated, operational but slowing down. Stress prevents sleep too. Cortisol, the alertness hormone, lingers late into the evening. In nature, it would fall with the sunset. Now, due to light and constant rush, it stays until midnight. The brain cannot distinguish work pressure from a predator chase. To it, the signal remains, do not sleep. Something is happening. Even if we fall asleep, we do so in air saturated with light from routers, lamps, and standby devices. Micro-awakenings happen constantly, often unremembered. But the brain remembers. Nature created sleep as a rhythm. Day-night, light-darkness, activity restoration. Humans broke that rhythm. We created a culture where fatigue is shameful and sleeplessness signals ambition. We try to squeeze every drop from the day, as if life were a productivity contest. But night has its cost. Without sleep, Immunity drops, memory blurs, emotions spill over. Sleep deprivation isn't just a problem, it's a slow unraveling of the psyche. After a few sleepless days, hallucinations appear. After a week, logical thinking collapses. The brain overheats, yet we still pretend we can outsmart it. Pills, supplements, sleep apps. A whole new sleep economy in a world that destroyed it. Perhaps the issue isn't that we cannot sleep. It's that we no longer allow ourselves to be unproductive. Sleep isn't a switch. It cannot be turned on. It is a river that must find its channel. And we, modern humans, have blocked it with stones. Light, noise, stress, dopamine. To sleep well, closing your eyes isn't enough. You must rebuild the entire path to sleep. Humans have always been creatures of rhythm. The sun rose, the sun set, and our biological clock beat with it. Today we've forgotten it's still there, quiet and patient, just drowned out. Deep in the brain, in the tiny suprachiasmatic nucleus, runs a clock that measures day and night. It needs cues, morning light, evening darkness, regularity. Without them, time is lost. Sleep comes at random hours, and we say, "I have insomnia," when really our rhythm is merely disturbed. The simplest ritual is a return to light. Morning sunlight, even a few minutes, resets the biological clock. It's like pressing day started. The brain begins counting hours until it wants to sleep again. Without morning light, the cycle shifts later. You fall asleep later, sleep worse. Morning light is the first remedy for insomnia. Evening is the opposite. Darkness is the language sleep speaks to the body. When the sun disappears, the brain produces melatonin, the hormone of nighttime calm. One glance at a phone can destroy it. Blue light blocks melatonin like a dam blocks water. An hour without screens before sleep isn't fashion. It's biology, allowing night to truly begin. Ritual helps too. The body loves repetition. Doing the same things at the same time daily signals the brain. Now it's time for sleep. A glass of warm water, a short bath, dimming lights, calm music, lavender scent, a few pages of a book. Small acts teaching the brain. Sleep is coming. The more consistently you repeat them, the faster the body synchronizes. Temperature matters. The body must cool to sleep. Hot environments hinder deep sleep. The brain can't enter deep phases if the body is too warm. Ideal bedroom temperature is around 18-19 degrees Celsius. Cold tells the body night has come. A warm bath before bed paradoxically works the same. After it, the body cools quickly, signaling sleep time. Then, calm. One cannot fall asleep with racing thoughts. Modern humans sleep with thoughts that refuse to quiet. A simple trick, write them down. A few sentences before bed. Worries with a note, "I'll return to this tomorrow." The brain understands literally. It doesn't need solutions, just certainty that things are not forgotten. Then it lets go. Sleep thrives on regularity. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends, trains the body to produce melatonin naturally, without an alarm. It's a bit like dancing. Once you catch the rhythm, the music leads itself. It's also important not to fight sleep. If you can't fall asleep, don't lie in bed counting sheep. The brain learns that the bed is a place of frustration. Better to get up, walk, read under warm light, and return when sleepiness comes. Sleep is a wave. You can't force it, but you can ride it if you're patient. Movement matters too. Paradoxically, how you sleep at night depends on what you do during the day. The body must be physically tired, not just mentally. Short walks, exercise, fresh air. All calibrate your circadian rhythm. A body that has received its dose of activity seeks rest at night. Don't forget the simple enemies of sleep. Caffeine, nicotine, alcohol. Caffeine can act for up to 6 hours. Alcohol may make you fall asleep faster, but it disrupts REM sleep, the phase when dreams occur. You may drift off quickly, but sleep poorly, as if dreaming through a fog. And one more thing, silence. Modern life knows little of it, yet sleep needs it. Even sounds you don't consciously notice are registered by the brain. In nature, silence signals safety. In the city, constant noise is an ongoing alarm. Sometimes a simple background sound helps. Van hum, white noise, or nature sounds. They mask disruptive noise, letting the brain feel secure. When you rebuild these small rituals, light, darkness, coolness, calm, consistency, the body begins to relax. The brain relearns the difference between day and night. Sleep, instead of a struggle, becomes a return to the natural rhythm embedded within us. Sleep is not a luxury. It's not a reward. It is a foundation. At night, your emotional immune system resets, DNA repairs itself, memory strengthens, hormones balance, and appetite and mood regulate. Without sleep, we lose not only energy but also ourselves.